All right, guess who just finished leveling Black Mage to 80 after like 3 or 4 weeks and a month and a half? This guy. And let me tell you that Black Mage is the most simply deceiving class I've ever played in my life. Let me explain. What's up, good people? It's your Final Fantasy homie Jay, and let me start off by talking about the rotation. The rotation is hands down a very straightforward rotation. You're gonna bob and weave from your ice to your fire, and you're just gonna do your thing where your ice gives you your mana back, and your fire gives you big damage. Big damage. And you would think, okay, so that's pretty straightforward. I understand Black Mage is pretty simple. I can rock this all day. The rotation isn't the issue until you hit level 60 when you unlock Enochian. By the way, if you want to see the level 80 rotation that I use in the description below, just look down there and hit it up. You do not want me to waste time trying to spell these and say these words out loud. But Enochian changes the whole game at level 60 because Enochian is a damage buff. But not only is it a damage buff, it's also a damage buff that allows 2 new abilities to be used within your rotation, which means if you drop your Enochian at any point in time, if you drop your element passive, if you drop your astral fire, if you drop your umbral ice at any point in time, your Enochian goes away, which also means that 2 to 4 abilities, depending on if you're level 60 or 80, will also become unaccessible, which means that your whole rotation is now screwed. And let me tell you that happens more times than you will ever know. Black Mage is the most deceiving class I've ever played in my life. It comes off as a simple, here's your rotation, you just bounce it back and forward, to now I'm losing my mind trying to remember everything that's happening while trying to consistently dodge abilities, which I'm terrible at, by the way. Death is my best friend in Final Fantasy. And because of this, Black Mage requires a lot of resource management. You're going to be managing your MP to make sure that you can get as many moves out as possible and know how many moves you can get out in a certain amount of mana that you have, so you have enough mana to rotate into your umbral ice. Or you got to manage to make sure that your cast bars are getting fulfilled in time before your umbral fire or astral fire and umbral ice run out. So now you have to manage your cast bar, make sure you're getting your cast off in time, making sure that your MP is adequate and filled up the right way, and making sure that you're dodging everything that you need to do while learning how to cast slot all at the same time. Look, I know this sounds terrifying. I promise you, Black Mage has become hands down one of my most favorite classes played. It's right up there with Monk. It's the original data of fun because of the stress that it brings. Another crazy thing that Black Mage has done that no other class has done is that it has required me to make 3 different hotbars, because you have a rotation that's pretty straightforward up until about level 40, and then from level 40 to 50 the rotation is completely different, and then from 60 to 80 the rotation is completely different. And you have to either change your hotbars every time, because unlike most classes, as you level up it adds on to your combos where things get easier and things get a little more intricate together to make more sense. Black Mage doesn't do that. It gets rid of abilities. It gets rid of Blizzard. It gets rid of Blizzard 2. It gets rid of Fire 3. Like, none of that is important. Fire 2, not Fire 3. Fire 3 is super important. But it gets rid of Fire 2, and none of that's important by the time you get to 80, because those abilities do not matter anymore. But they're super important when you're synced and you need to be able to use them. So Black Mage has been one of the only classes that has forced me to make multiple hotbars depending on what level I am in the time. I've never played a class where it has this many different rotations depending on what level I am at the time. That's crazy. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, give it a big thumbs up, because that'll help me a lot. Appreciate you. And I know I've been talking really fast and trying to explain how crazy Black Mage is, but that's literally how my brain is thinking 10 times when I'm playing Black Mage. I'm literally going insane and going crazy in the brain to make sure I know what's happening, because Black Mage is one of the most difficult classes I've ever played in Final Fantasy so far, because you have to have the knowledge and understanding what's happening in the fight so you can maximize damage. You need to be standing still, since Black Mage's cast time is one of the longest in the video game of Final Fantasy, and when you are playing trials, dungeons, raids, and ultimates, everything is flying at you at a super fast rate that you are not prepared to handle if you don't know how to do with Black Mage. Literally, Black Mage is like taking Final Fantasy and putting it on Dark Soul difficulty just to watch yourself stress and watch your happiness and joy and your sanity decrease to 0. But in all honesty, Black Mage takes a lot of time and patience, and you're gonna have to be patient with yourself when you start leveling this class. At first, you're gonna get real comfortable with it, but once 60 hits and you unlock Enochian, things gets a little more stressful because of how much managing you need to do with this class. And even though it takes a lot of patience, as you could progressively get better, it feels super rewarding. I've been grinding Black Mage for 3 weeks now, and it's one of the most fulfilling jobs I've ever played because I have seen my progress come and show tenfold from how when I first started, from dropping my Umbral Fires or Umbral Ices and Astral Fires to keeping my Enochian up to just knowing to transpose when I need to because I'm not going to get the cast time off in time, or getting off, one of my abilities that allows me to sure cast or quick cast an ability just to save my passive in the nick of time and be able to dodge an ability is one of the most fulfilling jobs I feel like I've played so far in Final Fantasy. And if you're looking for something that's going to challenge you mentally, physically, and really make you look at fights in a completely different manner because you need to think 3-4 steps ahead of where I can stand so I do not have to move, Black Mage is going to be the job that you want to play. And as always, if you want to hang out with me, my Discord, my Twitch link is in the description below. Shout out to the people who came out to the first weekly YouTube stream. Y'all made that thing lit and it was a great time, and we will continue to do that weekly. And as always, happy questing. Now, I feel like as fast as I talk in this video, I really feel like Black Mage is really, this black magic is taking over my body because I'm feeling so cray-cray right now.